Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners, proudly brought to you by 1Equine for the equine athlete. We're back at Albion Park as per normal on a Saturday night. 9 races, and we start just after 6 o'clock. 6:15 is the first race. Overall, it's a well-balanced program. There's an interesting free-for-all under the mobile conditions 1 mile, and there's also a very interesting trotters free-for-all as well, mobile start conditions, and that comes up as the last race on the program. So there's something for everyone this Saturday night. In this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to chat with Adam Richardson and Leonard Cain. Adam Richardson is back in the hot seat to go through his drives on Saturday night, and he's with us now. Adam, appreciate the time.
No drama, Chris.
We start with race 2. You're taking the drive on St. Veran. Now, this looks a really open race. There's a number of horses that have got really good chances. St. Veran is one of those. How do you rate his hopes here on the weekend?
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to get forward and handy. You know, if he can ultimately lead, I think he'd be very hard to beat. We'll just have to see what sort of happens early, I think.
Okay, well, let's dig down on that a little more. Better Shush, he's a last start winner, but he's rising in grade. Sort of unknown with his gate speed. How do you sort of assess that speed to your outside?
Yeah, I think there's quite a bit to the outside. A stablemate drive to the beach might look to press forward. I think Watermelon Sugar will go forward as well. So, you know, I think it's going to be a bit tactical early to see where people end up.
Okay, if you do find the front, is he good enough to take them all the way?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah. His recent form suggests that it is. Like, he's been really consistent since being based here in Brisbane.
Definitely. Mitchell's doing a really good job of all his horses since he's been up here, and, you know, he really likes this fella, so I think he'd be pretty confident too.
I don't know if it's the weather up here, but all of his horses look $1 million. They look fantastic.
They do, yeah.
All right, well, that's St. Veran. He goes around there in race 2. What about in race 3? This might be a test. Gate 10 at a mile. It's never easy. Brian Christopher, he was awesome 3 runs ago. Is this winnable, or is this too big a challenge?
I don't think it's too big of a challenge. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he did get up. He's probably going to have to come wide. I was happy enough with the way he hit the line last week over the middle trip. So, yeah, it is a winnable race. I just think he'll need a fair bit go his way.
There's no standout in this race either, is there?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. So if he's forced to track up 3 deep and then he's coming deeper at the turn, is that okay for him? Is he one of those horses that can corner well, or is he best suited nearer the inside?
He's probably better suited near the inside, but he has done it before. So, like I say, it wouldn't be a shock if he happened to get up. All
right. Well, that's Brian Christopher in race number 3. What about in race 5? This race for the mare, Shirley is your drive, and she comes up with barrier 1. Does that give you good hope here?
Yeah, she's showed over the last few starts that she has got quite a bit of gate speed. Sort of be interesting to see Davey's thoughts on her this week and, you know, see what we're going to do. But we've definitely got the speed to hold a good position, that's for sure.
Her run last week was really strong, so if she delivers that again, she's going to be competitive.
I think so, yes, yeah.
Yeah, they went good time in that race. That was the race How Alderman Queen won last week, and they went 54 and change. So the fact that she's got gate 1, big plus. What about 2,138 metres? Any concerns there?
I don't think so, no. I probably feel that it'd suit her a bit more, you know, not sort of stamping out those big last quarters. So I do feel that it'd probably suit her a bit better.
Okay. And just looking at it, there's no standout in this race as well. I know I keep saying it, but like Talk Like Motion, she's an Oaks winner, but she's not winning out of turn. Cover Girl had big raps on her. She's a well-credentialed mare, but she's not winning out of turn either. So it does look like winnable.
It does, yeah, that's right.
All right, well, that's Shirley. What about in race 6? This is the open race, Northview Hustler. Do we just forget last start?
I think so. He just got held up behind a couple of Twine horses. Seemed to hit the line okay once he did see fresh air, so I'd just put a pen through that one.
Okay, we're at a mile here on Saturday night. You've got Deus Ex drawn to your inside in gate 2. How does this shake out? How do you want it to shake out early?
I'd like to see some fireworks early, to be honest. You know, we'll just drive for 1 run, I think. He's always sort of been good for me, just come with 1 run. But yeah, if it's, you know, some fireworks early, small field, a lot of people will probably want to get to the front, so it'd be nice if there was, you know, good speed early.
So given that it is a small field and you want to drive him with 1 run, it's a perfect setup in many ways.
It is for him, yeah, that's for sure. Yep.
Yeah. And your record with this guy is phenomenal.
He's been awesome to me, the old fella, yeah, real good.
Okay, so he was unlucky there last week. He just got held up at a bad stage. It doesn't matter whether it's peak season or off season. The free-for-allers now, they just keep running time. And it looks like they're going to run time again this weekend.
That's for sure. It's very strong up here, the free-for-allers, and, you know, there's not, well, with any race, really, there's no easy race at the moment.
Yeah, well, Northview Hustler certainly looks a good chance there in race 6. Race number 8. I think this mare's ready to show up. Merge Right. When you looked at the fields earlier in the week, you saw barrier 1. Did you have a little bit of a smile on the face?
I did, yeah. Sort of was quite happy with the way she hit the line last start. It's probably the best she's hit it for a while, and it just gave me a good feel in seeing barrier 1, you know, just a bit of confidence come in, yeah.
Okay, so when you look at this field, how does this race play out? She's got early speed herself, but how do you assess that front line?
Yeah, hard to say really. Like, I'd probably talk to Pete and Patrice a bit more, but she's the sort of mare too that can put herself in the right spot or even hold up if we wanted to. But it's, yeah, not a bad front line there, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Ideal scenario, would you like to be right behind the leader, waiting for that passing lane at the top of the straight?
Love to be.
All right. I thought you'd have a bit of a hope there with Merge Right. I think she's going quite well. So out of all of your drives, which one are you most looking forward to?
I'd probably say it'd be a toss-up between St. Veran and the old fella Hustler.
Okay. Northview Hustler, race 6, number 4. St. Veran, that's race 2, number 3. Adam, as always, appreciate the time, and we'll see you trackside.
No drama. Thanks, Chris.
Leonard Cain now joins us to go through his drives on Saturday night, and he's in the hot seat. Leonard, appreciate the time.
No worries at all, Chris. Appreciate being on.
Your first drive on Saturday night comes up in race 2. Before I get to that, Obi Legal, he's one of your favourites. He goes around in the first. They've opted for the concession claim. He was awesome last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, unbelievable, Chris. Absolutely off the map, to be honest. You know, he's just gone from strength to strength lately. He followed that speed awesome the other night, and yeah, he gave everything he had right to the line. I think it's probably by far, arguably, his best run.
Okay, well, that's Obi Legal. Let's focus on your drives here on the weekend. Better Shush, he was a winner last weekend. You were aboard Better Shush. This is a rise in grade, offset by the fact that he comes up with barrier 1. Are the confidence levels high with this horse right now?
I think so, Chris. You know, he's been racing well, and last week he got a good trip, but he still sort of finished off quite strong, and probably, I think if there was another one there that he could sort of see, I think he sort of missed Hasty Bid to the inside and probably turned off a touch. I think if he had another one close to him, he would have given a little bit more, you know. I didn't really feel like he was done there the other night. I felt like he sort of still had a lot more to offer. He just probably sort of thought his job was over, and Josh sort of suggested that he sort of has a tendency every now and then to do that. So, you know, I thought he raced super last week, and there was nothing wrong with that run. Sort of gives me enough confidence going into this week.
Okay. The big question here with Better Shush in Gate 1, early speed. What does he feel like he's got?
You know, it's hard to say. Last week I only drove him from the second line, but he followed through quite well. And, you know, generally horses you generally don't be able to follow the two horses through like that to the second line and be able to hold the rest of the front line like he sort of did. So he got out really well last week. There was a little bit of scuffle outside me, which probably helped that, but he still sort of felt like he tracked through well without being asked. So it sort of gives me the impression that he'd have enough gate speed to sort of hold up pretty handy wherever we wanted to be. Okay, there's a couple of likely types drawn to your outside. Ideal scenario, right in behind the speed, or would you want to try and go for an all-the-way victory here? Sort of, I haven't really spoken properly to Josh yet about sort of probably his best racing pattern, to be honest, but you know, I'd be confident enough to try and hold up and go all the way, but if Josh sort of wants to take a sit, I'd be happy enough to do that as well. Okay, well, that's Better Shush in race 2. Let's have a look at race 3. You're down to drive Dr. Feelgood. Gee, it's been a long time since you've sat behind this guy. Yeah, it's been a very long time, so I actually can't really remember the last time I sat behind him, but it's good to get back aboard, and Vic and Gale's horses always race well, so it's another nice drive. I think it was early 2023 when you sat behind him last time out. So we're looking at this race with Dr. Feelgood. He's a horse that's probably promised a lot, probably hasn't got to the level that most expected, but when you look at this field, how does he sort of fit in here? I think he sort of probably grades fairly well, you know. Like you say, he's a horse that's sort of shown that he's got the ability, but probably just sort of hasn't sort of probably stepped up, you know, when he probably should have. I think he's sort of got a bit of a tendency to turn off a little bit, you know. Speaking to Gail, you know, there a few times, she sort of said that she's been a little bit frustrated with him, the way he sort of looks like he's going to win or looks like he's going to go past them and then sort of just peters out. So, you know, bit of a change up, someone different on. Hopefully it might help a little bit. You know, he's been racing well enough, but I think, you know, if we can get the best out of him, he's certainly up to this field.
So he's a thinker.
Yeah, he seems that way, to be honest. Yeah, from what Gail sort of said, he sort of thinks too much and doesn't really put his best foot forward all the time.
Well, tell me this. He is a horse with really good speed. There's pace drawn to your inside, and without sort of, you know, discussing tactics with Vic and Gale, is there a possibility you could light him up and make a bold bid for victory here with him?
Yeah, possibly, Chris. Yeah, you know, like I think, you know, it's probably our best hope is sort of, you know, get him excited, get him up bolting, and sort of, yeah, you know, make him feel like King Kong, and hopefully it works out for us.
It wouldn't shock anyone if he did that and run good time as well.
No, that's exactly right. You know, I fully expect that he should be able to do it. So, you know, I'm fairly confident, you know, going in the Saturday night that he should run a decent race.
Okay, let's go to race 5. This race for the mares. Betting Jewel, first time sitting behind this mare?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, yeah, sort of just with Brendan being away, obviously Gemma sort of elected to chuck me on and give me a go on her. So it's a nice drive to be sitting behind, and yeah.
It looks really open, this race on paper. There's no standout.
No, that's right. You know, it's a bit of a tricky draw. You know, we're sort of out there in no man's land, but hopefully if we can sort of work out a bit of a trip and, you know, if we don't end up too far away and the races run genuinely, hopefully we're going to be right in it.
Is she an opportunist?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think, you know, like I say, if we get the right sort of trip, I certainly give her a good show.
Okay. In the last race, race 9, this looks to be a good chance. Cocky Mulk, he's really far from the action. He's a good stand-start horse. This race under the mobile start conditions, but he's got the inside gate. Do you think he'll be competitive here?
Yeah, I think so for sure. You know, this is a trotter I actually have a lot of time for. You know, like you say, he's rarely out of the money and he's quite consistent. He's a good gated sort of a trotter, and his mannerisms are quite good as well. So, gate 1's obviously perfect. He's got awesome gate speed, so we've sort of got options there, and he's certainly the right horse to be sitting behind in that race, I think.
He's a last starter runner-up behind My Ultimate Eddie, who you meet in this race, but he's been back to the trials since. So at his best, and when you look at his best overall form, he should be very competitive from the draw.
Yeah, definitely. You know, he's the sort of horse that, yeah, he's got ability, and he showed that, and he's sort of rarely away from the money, and I think he actually follows speed quite well as well. So hopefully, you know, racing these Saturday night trotters, I think will work into his hands quite well, hopefully.
Manners are all important, not only for your guy. He's normally pretty safe, but a few of these favoured runners in this race, they can be a little bit up and down. So with a bit of luck, if they make breaks, you can capitalise.
That's exactly right, yeah. So hopefully we can make a bit of luck out of it.
All right. Which drive are you most looking forward to?
I'd probably have to say Better Shush, just with the draw and, you know, the feel that he gave me last week. I think he's probably my best one on paper.
All right, get the money nice and early. Race 2, number 1, Better Shush. As always, appreciate the time, and we'll see you trackside.
No worries at all. Thank you, Chris.
As always, a big thanks to our drivers giving up their time and insights, both Adam Richardson and Leonard Cain, and we wish them the very best of luck on Saturday night. Time now to find a good thing or two. I think we've got to be a little patient this weekend on waiting towards the back end of the program. Last leg of the main quaddie, race 8, number 3, Bronski Delight. Now, she's down on form numerically, but I think she finds the right race, a good draw. Nathan Dawson knows this mare probably better than most. He's back aboard, and I think this is a race that she can bounce back into the winner's circle and regain confidence. So marking her as the best bet, race 8, number 3, Bronski Delight. If you are gambling, please do so responsibly this weekend. We've got 9 races at the Creek on Saturday night, and as I said, start time for race 1, 6:15.